Obviously, great weekend, took care of business against a very, very good LSU team. I felt like it was just so many ways that I feel like every piece of our lineup helped contribute. Pitching wise, we used all of our arms. I mean, it was a good weekend, and excited about just building on that, and then going out and facing a very tough Mizzou team, right? It's like kind of the next one up. So, I just thought this weekend they did a really good job for every game of getting into that box and really putting pressure on the other team.
A two-part, you mentioned about your pitching staff this weekend. Everybody has to have their part. So two-parter, what's the deal with Peters? And then the last couple of times out, Sparks, she hasn't been very, very good. So just what those two parts.
Yeah, Peters is dealing with an injury, so she's day-to-day. So we're still trying to navigate through that. So we'll see if she can, work through some more things. And then Grace, Grace is also, when she got put in on Saturday, we weren't quite ready, and that wasn't kind of communicated. So, we'll clean some things up to make sure that doesn't, happen.
She was hit to Georgia too, or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just. We got to get her back, to being the drop ball pitcher that we know she is. And I think, everybody goes through this, where you hit a little bump. And the good thing is we have some other pieces that can help. But I think she just, we got to work a little bit from a mechanical standpoint. There's some things that are going on that she just needs to address. And I think she will this week. And, it's kind of the cycle of pitching, to be honest with you.
And if I follow up, sorry, but you have more depth in depth. Is that right this year? You can handle that
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have a lot more depth, and we don't have to leave, people out when, it's time to kind of make a switch. And, Levitt came in this weekend and threw the heck out of her drop ball. And, she's not a drop ball, pitcher, let's say. She's been working on that pitch for a little over a year, and I thought she just did a really good job of, her and I just talked about this, of reinventing of kind of who she is, and I think, has the ability now with her tool set to look like this pitcher day one and then this pitcher on day two. And I think she's maneuvering through the art of pitching much better than she ever has.
To that, how have you seen over the last few weeks, she just almost looks like a different pitcher in the circle based on, how well she's throwing, and then also just from a confidence standpoint, how have you kind of seen that translate over the course of the last maybe month or so throughout practice and stuff like that?
Yeah. Lev came to me probably a little over a month and a half ago, and she said, here are some of my goals, and they weren't pitching goals, which I was really excited about. She was like, I want to do a better job connecting to my teammates. I want to do a better job of you and I connecting. I want to do a better job. They were like some of these things that I felt like, this is different. Like, this is kind of cool. And I think she is really enjoying her senior year, leaving everything on the field, not feeling the pressure of, having to go out there. Like, she's enjoying the opportunities instead of feeling that weight on her shoulders. And it's been good. Her and I just talked, and I was like, it's been 4 good outings from you, like really good. And her first response was like, yeah, and I didn't think I threw as well as I could have. And I was like, okay. I was like, everybody feels that way. I said, what did you think you did really well? And she said, I just didn't panic. Like, I made a pitch, and if it wasn't where I needed it to be, the next pitch I hit. Like, I made sure, and I'm like, that's pitching. Like, and that's what I was kind of talking to her about, is like being able to maneuver through at bats and multiple times through a lineup is huge. And she came out there, and she really just did a tremendous job of executing what we needed her to execute, and she feels like the team is really behind her, and that's been fun. And so I just think you see somebody that's more relaxed and not stressing out about her performance and enjoying the process. So that's good. Yeah.
Ranked number 1 for the first time
yes.
ever. Just what does that mean to the program?
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, and I don't want this to sound bad. I am always, I guess always will have a chip on my shoulder, but it's a huge honor, but also it's April, and so I want us to be really, really good in May, and so I think it says a lot about these kids in this program and what they've been, and those that have been in here for a while, like they helped, grow this program, and I believe in what we're doing. I believe, I'm our staff. I know that our staff is just a tremendous group of people that care, about these players, and for me, I think it's a result right now this week, and I think we have to focus up even more. We're gonna go into Mizzou, and I think they took down a #1 team early on in the year, and we're gonna learn, and we've talked about this, we're gonna learn how to play with the target on our back instead of chasing. Now there are some things that I'm will have communicated with our team this week of things that I think might motivate us in some ways that I think that will always stay internal, but I find ways to get us where I feel like we need to get to. But it's Texas A&M is a special place. The reason why I came here is because I thought I could I wanted to help build a program that would be everyday part of, the talk, right, of a top-tiered program every single year. So, at the end of the day, this is my job, right? This is what I was supposed to do. Yes.
The first year you were here, y'all got swept by Georgia, and then you think about last year getting swept by LSU. You got back at them both this year.
Yeah.
Do you feel like this is kind of like a, for lack of a better term, revenge tour?
Yeah, I think it's a definitely. I remember those. Don't you worry. I remember the losses much more than I remember the wins. But I think for me, it's okay. What do we need to do to get better? Like, where are some areas that we lacked? I think. Getting our type and our brand of ball here at A&M, I think it just took some time, but I think there's definitely, a hit list of like, we didn't play well, we got swept, like all those things, and we owe it to ourselves to come out and execute at this level, because I know what we have and what we're capable of doing. I said this, I fully went into last year when we went to LSU, like we are going to win, like 2 out of 3 at least, and not so much what happened. And so I kind of felt like I got slapped in the face, and it was like a good moment for me to be like, okay, what's going on? What do we need to do? What do we need to address? And I think, obviously we've done a good job up to this point. I will tell you that there's still a lot that we need to do, and I will be working on it today. But right now, my focus is on Missouri. It's a short week. I feel like I don't have as much time as I would like to prep for them, but who needs sleep, right? Just get out there and play ball, play our game.
You used everybody in your staff this weekend, but Emily Kennedy obviously getting a bulk of those pitches and those innings. Just feels like, again, with her too, over the last couple weeks, she's kind of found her form and is back to that All-American caliber pitcher that she is. How have you kind of seen her progress and now kind of in the driver's seat in her senior year as well?
Yeah, I think Lefty, part of our plan, let's call it, for this year was to use her less in non-conference. Obviously, she was in all of our high leverage, high stressful, whatever you want to call it, games. And then for her to start peaking at the end of the year. So right now, we look like the plan is working. But I think, Lefty is just special. Her and I have a great relationship. I drive her crazy. She drives me crazy, But I do. I think she's finding her rhythm. She's starting to pitch. She's able to execute her pitches at the correct zones. I think she's done a tremendous job with her changeup, throwing it when she needs to. She's thrown them in some 2-0 counts, some 3-1 counts, some 0-0 counts. Like, she's done a really good job of throwing them in some counts that she maybe traditionally hasn't. And I think she's just enjoying it. I think that's the other thing. Sometimes your senior year, it started off really, really good, and then she maybe hit some bumps, and then I told you guys she was banged up for a little bit. And then you start to press, and I think she's back to like, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to be Emily Kennedy, kind of own her stuff, and I think she's just done a tremendous job. It's been fun. Like this weekend, I thought she did a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I mean, just she handled herself very well.
A couple good things Missouri does.
Oh, yeah. They can swing it at any point in time. They play well at home, and then they have about 5 arms. So 2 of them obviously take the bulk of the innings, but I think that they, at any point in time, if you look at Mizzou over the years, at the end of the year, they start to like really trend up. And so, at any point in time, you guys know this, like anybody in the SEC can beat anybody. There is no such thing as an easy game. And I will tell you that my sleep score will tell you that I'm not taking it easy. Yeah, I think they have the ability to hit the ball.
Just to clarify, you have talked to your team about being number 1. You said about the bullseye or not?
No, yeah.
Okay,
But I just think as we.
Bird a little bit or whatever.
Yeah, well, I've talked to them earlier in the year when we started moving up into the top half, like in the top 5 of like at that point in time, when you're in the top 5, people are looking at you like this would make my season, and so we haven't, this program under my direction, I should say, hasn't been that, right? We've always been the chaser, right? And now we are being chased, and so how to handle that. And so I will always find ways for us to be the chaser.
Thanks.
All right, thanks.